What is up, guys? My name is Squishyspud, and today we're going to be reviewing the Scuf 4PS controller. Now, before I show you my controller and we jump into the meat of the review, I thought I'd take you to the website and we would rebuild my controller. I can show you how much it cost and how much the price can jump. These are pricey controllers, so you definitely need to know what you're getting into. Starting off at the base price, you can get the plain black controller for $119.95 to start. There is an option to send your own controller into to Scuf to actually get it scuffed out, as they say, and the starting price is $49.95. So you take your basic stock PS4 controller, mail it to Scuf after you go through this whole setup, and whatever the price is, that's how much you pay. So it'll be a little bit smaller because you're not paying for the price of the Scuf controller itself. But today we're going to be building from scratch because that's what I did, and it's a Scuf 4PS. Now, as you know, I love orange, so of course we had to do the orange digital camo. Electro remapping was a must for me because I play many different games. So if you just play Call of Duty, you can pay for you can switch whichever paddle you want to coincide with whichever button while you're on the website, but it will stay that way forever. If you electro remap, like I did, which is an extra 25 bucks, they give you a little key and it enables you to change on the fly what buttons do what on the back. So that is a must. I love my rumbles, so I'm leaving those in. The grip doesn't cost any extra, but at the time I was only able to get the gray, so we're going to put that on there, or not. Well, it doesn't really matter. Okay, as far as the Scuf sticks go, for the left we had a medium domed, and for the right I believe it was a long concave. No, it was the other way around. Concave medium, domed long. So there you go, that's another over 10 bucks right there. Control disc, yes, I was told that it was helpful for fighting games, and with the upcoming Mortal Kombat X, which of course that was back then when I got it, I figured it would be a good idea. So moving on, I like the face buttons to have the actual square, triangle, circle, X on them, but you can choose to black them out. I chose not to, which doesn't cost any extra, but it's $7 to black them out. So standard was fine. Now, of course, you don't get a case or a cable or anything with it. I didn't pay for any extra because I already have the cables I need. I don't really travel with my controllers, so the case was just a waste of money. But as you can see right now, it's reduced $29.95 as opposed to 60 bucks. So here it is. You've got your standard shipping, but as you can see, the price jumped from $149.99 to $194.75, and that's without the shipping. So you're looking at 200 bucks for a not basic Scuf controller, but with the things you need. The electro remapping is something that you don't necessarily need to get, but like I said, if you play all types of different games, you definitely need it. So as you can tell, that's from the website. You'd add it to cart, ship, good to go. Okay, so we'll take a look at the actual controller, and then we'll talk more about it over some gameplay. Hopefully it's good gameplay, otherwise you're not going to want to buy a Scuf now, are you? So the Scuf comes in this beautiful white box. Take away the slide sleeve here. Someday it'll open. And there is the Scuf controller. Take this guy out all of its glory, and then also included, because I had the electro remapping, is the key, and we'll talk about this later. That's about it for the box. So here's the Scuf controller with the orange digital camo. 2 paddles, the only thing available for Scuf 4PS. They do not offer 4 paddles like they do on the Xbox One controller. Regular buttons with the same color and corresponding shape. The disc, a medium analog stick, and the long analog stick. There's really nothing much to talk about. The controller feels the same as the standard controller except for the grip, and of course your little paddles here, but the weight, the feel of it, the material it's made out of, it's all plastic. It feels exactly the same. So these grips do help when you start sweating because you're playing Call of Duty and getting your ass whooped. They do help a little bit with grip, but you know, you're still going to sweat, you're still going to slip with the controller, so it's not the be-all end-all fix for a sweaty hand. But if we take a look at the standard controller's got like this matte kind of scratchy finish. And then the Scuf has this little rubber grip here. So they have their own redesigned back. It's very slightly different, but the paddles basically make it. So Scuf makes their own back. It's molded. They take the basic shape of the 4PS controller, the PS4 controller, and then they've just redesigned it so it can fit these paddles on there, which of course the same thing as the Elite controller, because this is where they got their the technology to make the Elite controller from. It's just a little button, and the paddle just presses that button for you. Everything else is the same. They use the same triggers, the same buttons. This can be removed if you want it to be, the little disc. It's got the little tabbies, and then you just put it back on if you want it. I just leave it there. It doesn't really obscure the way they press like the Elite controller did, so I just left that one on there. But I must admit, the Scuf analog sticks do feel real nice. They're very grippy. When I first bought this, now I did have to send it back in to be repaired, and there's a story about that. I'll link the video in the description I've already made, but we won't talk about that in this video. I had them replace the analog sticks with the actual Scuf analog sticks afterwards, because I figured it would be great to have the shorter, regular analog sticks and just use Control Freaks, but they were scratching the top of the controller. I don't know if you can see that on the camera there. So I figured, you know what, for a few dollars a piece, let's just try them, see what they're like, and I really do like the Scuf sticks. So as long as you know what size you want to use, they are definitely worth it. And for, I think it's $6 a piece to add them in there. It's not that bad. But that's basically it for the look of the controller. Now as for the Electromagnetic Remapping, you'll get this little baggie with the key on a hand lanyard, I guess. And the instructions. So the first step for remapping the controller is to make sure the controller and the system are powered on. Then you're going to want to take the key, place it down. It's a magnet, so it'll stay stuck on there. It's a very light magnet, so you don't want to shake it around too much. Then all you're going to want to do is press and hold the paddle you want to change what button it uses. Then press and hold the corresponding button on the front. Then release the corresponding button and the paddle, and it will now, whatever button you pressed, will remap the paddle to that button. And that is basically it. That's as easy as it gets. You cannot remap it to every button. I don't know. Let's see here. Yes, on this controller you can do X, circle, triangle, square, LD pad, RD pad, right thumbstick, and left thumbstick. You cannot do R1 and L1. Apparently you can't do up or down either. So you can only do left, right, either one of these, or the 4 face buttons. You cannot do, of course, obviously you can't do those. But not being able to do the top bumpers is a little bit of a letdown due to the fact that I play GTA a lot, and to be able to drive in the car and use these to aim and shoot, it's taking your hand off the triggers while you're driving. If you could use these bad boys, then you'd be able to drive while aiming and shooting. That's what I do with the Elite controller, but what can you do? And now the answer to the question you've all been waiting for: does the Scuf controller make you a better player? The answer is yes and no. The Scuf controller makes it a little easier and faster to press certain mapped buttons. The way I play Call of Duty is jump and crouch or remap to the paddles, making it a little faster to jump and drop while aiming. Everything with the Scuf controller, sadly, will be in small increments. If you're a terrible player and always end up at the bottom of the scoreboard, the truth is, the Scuf is not going to change that. In this specific gameplay, I went 27-3, but I still have my games when I'm not only at the bottom of the scoreboard, but my KD is negative. This has always been the case, and still now, a year after purchasing the controller, it still is. On the other hand, even though the advantage is small, it is still there, and there have been a few kills over the life of Black Ops 3 that I just wouldn't have got without using the Scuf. And when I had to send it in for repairs, I realized what a crutch the controller is. The Scuf 4PS is a cool controller with some interesting mechanics, but in my personal opinion, it's priced severely too high. Even the Xbox One's Elite controller with its accessories and more options, at $149, it's out of most people's price range. My 4PS at $200 shipped is just too much. It's simply too much. In the end, it's a controller aimed at those with money burning a hole in their pockets, or those who play competitively and need a Scuf in order to compete with everyone else because they're using a Scuf. I hope you find this video informative. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. I would certainly appreciate that. And I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.
Oh yes, it's very nice.